So good day, everyone. Ólafur Ragnar, Your Excellencies, all of you ministers and distinguished guests. I would like to say some few words because I'm not only from Iceland, I'm from Westman Islands. So we are 16 islands similar to Faroe Islands with some 30 rocks, only inhabiting one island, 4,000 people. So for me, it's a big thing to be in Faroe Islands. It's a big place compared with our Westman Islands. And of course, Iceland is the northest island in our class of islands, but that's another story. But this is our home market, as you can see. We are the leading transportation company in the North Atlantic, offering 21 vessels for service. And our market goes from the port of Portland, Maine in the west to Kirkenes and Murmansk in the east. We've been shipping in the North Atlantic for 104 years and connecting people, markets, and businesses. And this is a picture of us in the early years. So we have been sailing to New York, for example, we started in 1915. So we were being affected by the war. So we've been affected by many things in these 104 years, such as sailing in rough seas. We're seeing the roughest seas. If I talk to our captains for 50 years, when we are decorating them after their services for us, they're all telling me that the roughest seas they've been sailing through are the last years of their lifetime with us. We've sailed through 2 world wars, different political regimes that we have to deal with, different countries, and recession and different trends. And we are always operating in an environment where we have to look at our stakeholders, and the stakeholders are customers, employees, shareholders, and society. So we have to touch all of them. And to succeed in new markets, we have to bear in mind the interest of all stakeholders. We have to create partnership to have some mutual benefits, some win-win with everyone we work with. We have to be active in the local community and engage in local affairs. We have to build up local business relationship and a valuable partner in the value chain. And we have to create jobs in the communities we work, and we have to give back to the community. This is our sailing route. These are our 6 sailing routes in the North Atlantic, and you can see that we are touching all the countries in the North Atlantic, in the Arctic. Faroe Islands has been mentioned in a former presentation as being the center of the universe. We always thought we were, but if you look at our system, you can see it is actually Faroe Islands. It's connected. Even though there are only 50,000 people, we see Faroe Island in the future as a great hub for our business. And also to operate our vessels from here, because it's a much more friendly environment to work in compared with Iceland. As Faroe Island, you can work on different, work differently with registering your vessels here, crewing them, and etc. So Faroe Island is a very interesting step forward for us to increase our activities. Today, 12% of our business is actually going through Faroe Island. And as you maybe know, we move a lot of salmon from Norway, in Scotland, from Iceland, and from Faroe Islands. And they were here yesterday bragging about the salmon being the best in the world. And because I'm trying to be like a politician, and because we are doing it from Iceland and Norway and Scotland, but I have to tell you that the salmon from Faroe Islands is the far best salmon in the world. So what we are doing today with, for example, the interesting things with all of the salmon producers here, with Bakkafrost, with Hidden Fjord, and with Marine Harvest, we are actually trucking to their doors containers when they're slaughtering the salmon, and we are trucking it to the vessel. Vessel is waiting. For example, Friday night, going on the vessel into Scrabster in Scotland or into Immingham, and then we're trucking it to Glasgow and Heathrow, and we're moving it by air, and sometimes we have, through Schenkers and Kuehne+Nagel and others, 50 airplanes waiting for the salmon to go to the market. So slaughtered on Friday, being on the sushi plate in New York, Boston on Tuesday, and Wednesday because of time difference in Asia. So our main markets for the salmon in Faroe Islands is that we are focusing on USA and China, and of course a lot of the salmon is now going to Russia. We actually bought Faroe ship in 2004, and there's a lot of pride with the name of Faroe ship. The same as the colors are the same as the Faroese flag. So we have great respect for the company. We have never put up our flag inside the office. The management of the company is Faroese. All management layers are Faroese, and we are celebrating next year in 2019 a 100-year anniversary. And our newest vessel that will be coming in, I'll go through it later, will be named Arctica Torson, and it will be arriving probably March, April next year into Torson. When we started doing business in Faroe Islands, most of it was pelletized, and we started to containerize the islands. So in those 14 years that we have been involved, we are now containerizing all the cargo we are dealing with. We are operating trucking companies, etc. And we are trying to get cargo to move, being originated and destined for different places than only Denmark. So today, around 65% of the cargo is actually originated or destined for Denmark, and the rest of it is to US or other Scandinavian or UK. So Faroe Island, after we came in, is much more connected to the rest of the world. These are the 3 vessels we are building in China. 2,150, the biggest vessel that have served the market. And we're doing this with Royal Arctic Line. We signed a cooperation agreement. Wow, the yellow stickers up. Go quickly through. And as you know, there is an extension of the port in Nuuk and Reykjavik and Tórshavn. And this will be the biggest vessel that have ever served this market. As you can see, one of them is red, that's the Royal Arctic Line. And we are building them under the strict polar code. And I just want to bring you a message from Greenland, from the CEO of Greenland. We don't see many Greenlanders here, but they gave us a message. So I'm cheating on the yellow, but it's actually Greenland that wants to talk to us for 1 minute, if I may. And I have to say this, the Icelandic Competition Authority, they're very active in the surveillance industry in Iceland. They are evaluating if this can really happen. But here is Greenland, if I can have volume up. And
Dear all delegates at the Arctic Circle Forum in Tórshavn, my name is Werner Hammerken, and I'm the CEO of Royal Arctic Line in Greenland. Building dynamic economies and sustainable communities in the Arctic is key to our mission. We want to make it easy to do business with Greenland. To do this, we expand our service offerings to our customers. We collaborate and join forces with others and find new and better ways to get things done. This greatly improves our services, it reduces costs, and it has great value to the Greenlandic society as a whole. The intended vessel sharing with Eimskip is an important milestone in this. While this project has immense value to both our companies, we actually believe that it has even greater value to our respective communities. It goes to show that by joining forces in the North Atlantic, we can do more to maritime infrastructure than has been seen in the past 1,000 years of trade in the North Atlantic. I wish you a great conference. Thank you.
so I'm cheating on my time. So yeah, I am, big time. So I'm not going to dwell on it, but you see these 3 ports. They're all being worked on: Nuuk, Reykjavik, and in Tórshavn, and they will all be up and running, and I very much look forward for the cooperation. And someone else will talk about probably the future of Arctic sailings, which we are following very closely. At least we are ready with our system to connect with it when it happens. So thank you.